Okay, the Disruptor comes out, so he's going to be able to get that the glimpse back onto the Dawnbreaker anytime she comes in from the other part of the map with that Solar Guardian, which is a nice way to answer that. You know, it doesn't stop the ultimate itself, but being able to get the glimpse back once she is into the fight, you know, push her right back to maybe the other side of the map if she was split pushing it out. It's a nice pickup. I like the Disruptor being able to put down where you know the Solar Guardian is going to be coming through. You can drop that kinetic field, you can drop the static storm as well, just to be able to control onto the Dawnbreaker. Do you think just going back to the Dawnbreaker, Marcy, do you think then, if you think this is going to be, or you like this as the position 3, do you think this is going to be the offlane Marcy Dawnbreaker combo?
Could be. I don't want to be certain about anything here because Team Empire really haven't shown us much, and now with the Razor coming out, I think it's a Marcy Razor lane, to be honest. This Visage and the Doom, they will cry. They will cry for sure. Because, you know, Razor with a billion movement speed, Marcy tossing you back. There is not a hero in this world that wants to play against that one. Especially not heroes that want to be waiting for the Scorched Earth before they can be aggressive. So use your Scorched Earth, but on the downtime, you're just in so much trouble. And even in the uptime, there is a chance that Team Empire just like, screw it, we turn around on you and we will kill you.
Yeah, and I think
now
we
I don't
see,
know.
I was going to say, I think we see the IOs more in the offlane recently. But
I'm not sure. I think it's either 50-50. I don't think there's a general rule. But IO Dawnbreaker is really strong. Marcy Dawnbreaker is really strong. IO wants to lane with Razor because the only thing Razor lacks is the attack speed. With the IO, you have that. On the other hand, if the Dawnbreaker has the IO with her, the Disruptor doesn't do anything in the lane because his all of his damage from the Thunder Strike will be countered. So I'm not sure. I would prefer to see a Marcy Razor lane, though I'm fine with both combinations here.
Yeah, like I said, Team Empire, they can completely keep it open here. They are going to be able to get themselves I mean, the lineup, like you say, it is just completely fluid. Okay, Marcy IO probably supports, but the Dawnbreaker, the Razor, they can go anywhere across the board. And the Chaos Knight comes out here for the side of cybercats. So if that is going to be the Dawnbreaker in the offlane, you know, how well does that fare against the Chaos Knight here in the lane?
The IO Dawnbreaker would do really well, I think. The Chaos Knight, he relies on being stronger than the enemy core and just pushing him back with the Chaos Strike. If the IO is there with the Dawnbreaker definitely wins the fight. So I'm thinking the Dawnbreaker will be fine, but on the other hand, there's only a bunch of heroes that can somewhat trade with the Dawn, and I think the CK falls into that category. Plus, you would want an illusion-based hero against the Razor for sure, and the CK fills that role perfectly. The thing about cybercats draft is, when you have a Disruptor, even though he's really good against the Dawnbreaker, against the IO, don't get me wrong, but the main strength of the Disruptor comes out from, we kill one hero, and then we get a bonus. Doom and the Visage don't really seem like the heroes that just bring someone down. You would maybe need to use the glimpse on the doomed target, and then suddenly you've used the big cooldown and you don't get that bonus kill, so the Disruptor isn't really doing his job. But if the CK is there, you doom a hero, the CK kills him immediately, and then you get the bonus with the glimpse. So I'm liking that cybercats went for this kind of a hero that can blow someone up, plus late game illusions against the Razor work quite well.
Yeah, is there a hero then you think that Empire might be going towards the kind of, I mean, the Conquer's already been right, it's Empire ban out the Conquer themselves, the Pangoli's gone, the Faceless Void's gone, Batrider being removed, but is there a hero then that you feel like Empire could draft that deals with the illusions coming out from the Chaos Knight, you know, has that overall kind of team fight potential to deal with the literal chaos coming out from that Chaos Knight?
November, no Kunkka, no Zeus, no Lesh.
10 seconds to go.
So what is left is a Sand King. If you pick a Sand King, you'll get countered in lane. That's a good one. That's a really good... The mobility for Team Empire is insane in this game. And Keeper of the Light in Division 2, I think, is a very powerful hero because this hero is very hard to catch. Very, very... I literally saw in a game a CK stun chasing the Keeper of the Light and not being able to connect on him. So that is just how fast this hero is. When you have the Dawnbreaker and the IO, it's gonna be very hard to catch the Void Spirit. Sure, it's a solid one, but the question is, will you ever be on top of the Keeper of the Light? And Void Spirit doesn't really benefit so much from the early farm in the lane, And that is the only thing that you're going to be getting from this Coddle. So I have to say I'm leaning a little bit Empire here. I think if they use this mobility, the cybercats won't know what hit them. They'll never be able to respond, especially having the Visage, which is a pretty slow hero.
Yeah, and I think in lore, it's, you know, the Chaos Knights chasing the Keeper of the Light across multiple realities because the Keeper of the Light did something to the Night Stalkers. But, yeah, so in this game, though, I think, like you said, the Team Empire, the mobility, they're going to be the ones that look to chase down onto cybercats, put that pressure on, look to just, again, fill the, you know, the void in these fights, and just maybe fill in the actual void spirit coming through in these fights, and then just get themselves into a really nice position to fight down. And looking at this lineup again, you've got the jump from the Marcy. Dawnbreaker is going to be able to get on top of your Io that can follow up, just keep the sustain going as well, keep all your heroes healthy. Solar Guardian's going to be able to help with that. Razor's just going to be able to chase down as well. That you do have the Chaos Knight that can come out, but then you've got to deal with the Illuminate damage coming through. The Celestial Hammer is going to be coming through. Starbreaker is going to be coming through. So Team Empire, yeah, this lineup looks pretty impressive, and I'm interested to see how cybercats are going to be dealing with it, because they are going to have to deal with it in game number 2 as we get ourselves into this now. Team Empire with that advantage, that 1 game advantage. Cybercats, how are they going to pull it back?
Well, for cybercats in this game, it's pretty straightforward what you need to do. But the thing is, you need to control an area. And whenever someone even comes remotely close, you crush them. The only time you're chasing the enemies is with a smoke. The thing is, there is so many things on the side of Team Empire that can make you make a mistake. They can force you into a mistake because they're just going to be running around the map all the time. You have the Coddle, who's going to be able to push out the waves pretty safely. You have the Io to relocate people out. And with that mobility, I think if you create chaos on the map, which I think Empire are going to be looking to do, that cybercats will lose. I think the best thing cybercats should be looking at here is that Empire maybe get lost in their rotations, right? Empire, as we know, they haven't been looking the greatest in the DPC so far. So with a lineup as mobile as this one, when you're constantly making rotations around them, a little bit inside of them, and for a second, kind of forget where your enemies are, get into a bad fight, and kind of lose all of the advantage. If cybercats start gaining the advantage in this game, and the CK can survive just by standing in front, then Empire are going to be in trouble. They're not going to be able to use their mobility. I think the same goes for Visage. That's why he'll be going for the Wraith Pact for sure in this game. But overall, if the game starts going badly for cybercats, they might not even get a chance to play, because you're never going to know from which side the Keeper of the Light will come from.
Yeah, we can see, I mean, it looks like she gets to Igor as well as H2O. They're setting up for maybe a push onto this high ground. You know, if they try and get, if Empire try and get a little bit of vision to try and go into that river, but nobody's rotating over. So what do they want to do here, cybercats? Igor, H2O moving themselves back towards their side of the river. Yeah, Shigetsu is going to follow as well as they get themselves here. Shigetsu in the river, but all 5 heroes from the side of Empire, they want to make sure they get the 2 bounties, even though this is a really nice observer board, I think, as well for the early game. But there is not going to be a rotation coming through from cybercats, and it is just going to be the 2 for 2, and everybody goes their way. Now, so it is going to be, we didn't talk, so it is going to be BCZ on the Io. You know, you got the Razor coming through on Jessu, and the off lane is going to be James on the Marcy, and the Dawnbreaker coming through here for Sachelo. I really like this just because if you get a Dispose into a Starbreaker, you know, what's the time, even at level 1, what's the lockdown on that? You're going to have 0.8 into, or the stun duration, so it's still looking at close to 2 seconds from that, and 2 seconds in that early game, you know, that's a lot of damage that you can do onto this Disruptor that he gets caught out on.
If the Disruptor gets caught out with the Starbreaker and the Dispose, he dies.
Yeah, and look at this.
Look at that.
The Celestial Hammer came out for that extra slow as well. The damage that came out on H2O, that was 2 spells, and he has to pop the salve, he loses 2/3 of his health. As I say this, as I'm monologuing once again, the Razor Jessu will get caught out, killed off, and go down on this top lane.
This is... this is the start that cybercats are looking for in the top lane. You want to be able to do a lot of damage with every scorched earth. Obviously, Empire, you know, you always feel that with an IO you're gonna be okay, but a couple of those soul assumptions, even though this hero is being played a lot right now, they do catch you by surprise from time to time, and I think that's what happened here to the side of Empire. Still, in the grand scheme of things, if you force out a lot of mangoes on the Visage and he doesn't have any more mana, you're still gonna be able to lane here quite effectively.
Yeah, and now, well, H2O, he's got to be careful because the Starbreaker is up. James, he's going to be able to get that rebound and a couple more creeps as well. So they are going to be able to get on top of the Disruptor and maybe force a couple of kills in this bottom lane. And James, he's one creep away from it. He's, what's that, 2 experience from level 2. He is going to be able to get it now off this creep. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Phasor gets stunned up. I think it was, yeah, it must have been the Centaur. There's no stuns on the IO, not on Jesu, so it looks like it was going to be that neutral Centaur that got the stuns in the mid lane, though. Igor, he's going to be taking a lot of mana. He's going to be using a lot of mana. Going to be using a lot of his health up here in this mid lane. Up against the Keeper of the Light. They are going to split off for the Water Runes. Back on the top lane, though. Looks like Phasor wants to chase into 7 Jesu. 7 Jesu has to be really careful. He's already gone down once. Doesn't want to go down twice in about as many minutes. So he's going to have the regen coming through from BZZ. And what can you do here as the Raider to protect yourself from those soul assumptions coming through from DK Focus?
You have to survive them until he has no mana. Of course, the infused raindrops are gonna be a big thing. That is something that you always get against the Visage for sure. And 7 Jesu going aggressive, but he might die here.
Yeah, it looks like, oh, what's he going to be able to, he just backs himself away. The tether did come out in the bottom lane as well. There was the jump coming through from James. Immediate reality rift into the Chaos Bolt came out though from Shigetsu to stop that aggression coming out onto H2O from the side of Empire. Top lane, Jesu has to be really careful. The Tango is going to be coming through as well with those branches, just to try and heal himself up a little bit more. Bottom lane, once again, they are going to be going in with a Celestial Hammer, and Shigetsu going to be slowed down, but no dispose. It was already used, so Shigetsu going to be taking a lot of damage in this lane as well. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, there could be a backstab coming through, but the vision's down. Yeah, okay, so the ward is the Doom will be spotted out in case you try to go for the wraparound, and Squad X just going to be able to play it safe on this mid lane.
The start was pretty good for cybercats, which is pretty important. As we mentioned, the rotations from Empire are going to be quite big. Those rotations, you want to end up in kills. If cybercats get a good advantage in the beginning and they get tanky enough, Empire, they miss out on a few kills. It's gonna hurt them in their long run. Plus, you're playing a Dire Keeper of the Light. You're just not gonna be farming as much as the Radiant side keeper. So it's not gonna be like a 6-minute bots.
Bottom lane, they might even be able to get something more out of this. Shigetsu, it was a really nice, as the Celestial Hammer was dragging Satchelo back and the rebound came out to get on top of the Disruptor. Really nice dispose back into the Starbreaker there. And Satchelo and James group up for this fight. Group up for the kill on the bottom lane and just showing what the power of these two heroes can do. Meanwhile, on the top lane, though, going to be another static link coming through, so the Doom going to be losing out on a lot of damage, 66 damage and here. But Razor, what can he do with this? Because he keeps getting low on this top lane.
For sure. And DK Focus just bringing in more and more mana. Now finally he doesn't have anything more. He's gonna bring the Ring of Basilius, but overall it's not gonna help you that much. You're gonna have a Soul Assumption from time to time, but you're just not gonna be able to use a multitude of those. Just Rob, be careful about bottom lane.
Yeah, bottom lane. I've been watching it here. They've been doing a lot of damage here to H2O. James was just soloing in. The rebound comes into Shigetsu. Was that Celestial Hammer now as well? They're gonna be able to get the burn out. Still have that Starbreaker H2O there. He's gonna be the kinetic field being up, but he's still taking a lot of damage here, H2O. And Satchel just had himself through the trees, has that Starbreaker, can't get in range of the Thunderstrike will come out. And Satchel might actually go down to this, doesn't have any stick charges left. One more, it's not going to be off James though. Might be able to get the dispose in, there's going to be another hammer coming through, and H2O gets taken down once again here. Again, I can't overstate how strong this combination is on the bottom lane. Just the instant being able to shift your momentum around with the Celestial Hammer, the rebound, you know, the movement, the momentum that comes out on this lane into the Starbreaker stun, into the Dispose stun. It's one of those things that even if you're expecting it, that you have to be so quick to get away from it once it comes in, because once it is in, you're just straight up dead.
Yeah, that is what tends to happen when you're playing against two overpowered heroes currently. Both the Marcy and the Dawnbreaker are just almost impossible to play against in the laning phase, and then you have two of them. So it's it's just impossible for the side of cybercats. I have to say they did a good job so far, but you know, 1 or 2 missteps and it's just over. This is the thing, you know, those kind of missteps against some other heroes, they wouldn't even be called that, but against these two you get easily punished.
Yeah, and what can they do here on the side of cybercats? There is going to be the rotation coming through from Igor. Has himself a double damage rune here now as well. Satchel, he's not level 6 just yet, so he's not going to be able to jump on James with the Solar Guardian. And that's another thing that I didn't even think about. You're going to be able to rebound into a Solar Guardian for the extra damage, you know, once that, if you get the jump used to reposition where you need it as well. Top lane, Jessu's going to be taking even more damage, but can he get himself into this fight? Phasor, was that plasma field 4 seconds away, level 2 on that now as well, but Focus keeps throwing out these soul assumptions. The pings are coming out here, and it looks like they might want to target onto Shigetsu. He does have that reality rift, but there's going to be the dive in, the dispose. No, the Chaos Ball, it's going to disrupt this, but the Celestial Ham's going to be used once again. Whereas that Starbreaker Satchel's going to be taking a little bit of damage. There is going to be the reality rift once again as Focus gets the kill onto Jessu. Now the Starbreaker comes in on this bottom lane. And it looks like Shigetsu, though, he is pretty tanky with 1100 health, and they're not going to be able to completely kill off this Chaos Knight in the bottom lane, as it looks like, yeah, there was a rotation. Oh no, there is going to be another dispose into the Celestial Hammer, though. With a kinetic field, James should go down and will go down. And Shigetsu picks up that kill. Phasor, a really nice rotation to the top lane coming through from the Void Spirit, and then a really nice rotation from Phasor. Satchel, can he get himself away from this HO? Going to be taking a lot of damage. One more right click. Can he get it? The reality of the Celestial Hammer, though, it's going to be the rotation from BCC. So they're going to be able to turn this one around. He even has the Solar Gun. Shigetsu going to be taking so much damage from this. They're going to be able to get the stun onto Phasor. Phasor is going to go down. One more right click. Should claim that kill. And can he get himself away from this Shigetsu? He's so low, 80 health. But he was able to move himself away, and BZZ just couldn't get that last right click in, or that last couple of right clicks in, to find the kill.
I think Shashlo got a little bit afraid there for his life and used the Solar Guardian. I don't think he necessarily needed to. Shigetsu was dead there if you just hit him once or twice. But, you know, you do get afraid. Still, now Squad X, he does have the boots of travel. So I like these moves from cybercats. They tried to break the game a little bit before the Coddle can be everywhere. And now Squad X is going to be a big problem. So it wasn't a 6-minute bots, but it's still going to be there around 7 8 minutes. And now he can rotate as much as he wants. Look at Shashlo now. He knows that his keeper is always going to be there to assist him.
Yeah, and I love this as well. He's just clearing off the trees with the hammer, 4 points into the Celestial Hammer as well. So the cooldown on that, what is that, every 12 seconds, and the Chaos Knight just has to bail out. Shigetsu has to TP himself away, going towards that armlet, but he's going to be lower net worth than Shashlo here, and Shashlo just continues to push in, like you say. Squad X rotates him as well.
To top.
They're going to be able to catch out. Marcy's going to be here now as well. They might be able to get themselves onto and catch out onto the Razor, but BCZ TP's in. He's not able to get the tether off. Not able to keep him alive. James, the tether does come in. The heals now as well, but James, only level 4, not real impact, especially when you've got 3 heroes here, as well as the familiars on the side of cybercats to get those gank possibilities out. And James...
Igor coming as well.
Yeah, it's going to be... They're looking to trade out these towers. I mean, Shachlo is going to be able to get the tier 1 tower on the bottom. James, the Reality Rift comes out now as well. BCC is trying to keep James alive. It's going to be Squad X. He TP's in. The Illuminate's going to be coming through the blast. Is it going to be enough damage to get the kill onto James? But this is going to be, again, a 2 versus 4 still going here. As the heroes dies. BCC, Empire, can he get himself away? The tether up in 8 seconds. He's going to pop like a balloon. And now Squad X again. The Chaos Bolt comes through. And Keeper of the Light will pay for his crimes. Shigetsu, the Chaos Knight, gets the kill there onto the Keeper of the Light.
Very weird that Empire actually took that fight. The thing that cybercats want to do in this game is play around DK Focus. You know that DK Focus is not mobile, so you want to be there with your heroes once the enemies go for him. And cybercats were already there, and Empire start TPing heroes and TPing heroes. If you had the Solar Guardian, maybe you can think that that can work out, but without that spell, that was really, really optimistic, and they kind of give away a lot. The tower is going to be the main thing, and now cybercats holding that area is going to be a bit easier for them.
Yeah, James, the Doom comes out immediately. They're going to be able to dive onto James, and James not going to be able to get himself away from this. Phasor picks up that kill. Squad X is going to be able to get himself a haste rune. And yeah, with the talking about the Solar Guardian, I don't know if they thought he might have had enough, because it was off cooldown. He just didn't have the mana to cast it there on the Dawnbreaker, so he couldn't catch up with the rest of his team, you know, help them out and get into that fight. And yeah, I think the Solar Guardian completely flips that fight on its head. He didn't have the mana to use it.
I'm liking what cybercats are doing right now. So they get the top lane, they immediately rotate, they get a kill. Any kill will do. The thing is here to slow down Empire. Don't allow Empire to just run around the map getting kills, because that's what they want to do with the coddle. That is what this hero does. But with you always keeping one of the heroes dead on the side of Empire is just way too hard. And now even if DK Focus dies in the top lane, it's not going to be that big of an issue, but he is protected by really nice vision.
Yeah, there is going to be the rebound into the dispose. Maybe he's going to be disposed back. The relocate comes out now as well. Bogus, can he get himself away from this? Going to try and go for the TP. And I don't think they have the damage. He don't have the control. He is going to be able to get the TP out. Might pay with his familiar's lives as he will be taken down. Maybe, though. The vision breaks over the trees. Plasma Field comes out. Yeah, but the relocate... Oh, they clean up one, but one familiar will survive there. And the relocate drags them out just before he can get the second.
Beautifully done by DK Focus. I think he knows that it's very hard for the enemies to kill him. If they use the Solar Guardian, he's gonna be okay with it going down. And you know, if he gets himself out, it's perfect. You want to be on the top lane because you are the sacrificial lamb in terms of dying on your team. And cybercats are gonna continue going forward. If you kill James, the catch on Empire is really not there. He's the one that is always making the plays, and he's gonna die yet again.
Yeah, James just gets caught out. The familiar gets a stun. There's a remnant diving from Igor, and James just goes straight down. Bottom lane, though. Sarchlo could try and get on top of Phasor. Phazor's going to try and run himself away as fast as he can, but Starbreaker going to be used as well as the Illuminate damage coming through. Phazor's going to try and go for TV. The Blinding Light with the Solar Bind. It's going to be way too much damage. Solar Blind coming in, Solar Bind and the Blinding Light coming in clutch to get that kill onto the Doom.
Gaben really needs to think about the naming of those spells, because my colleague here is
the
his tongue is getting twisted.
Yeah. But I suppose you can call it a combination. Like, you have the Kinetic Storm that comes out, Static Storm, Kinetic Field. So the Solar Blind, you know, that could be the next one. The Avatos is another one. Speaking about tossing, they're going to be able to get themselves right onto the position, but the Kinetic Storm comes
relocate
out.
Coming in.
The damage to relocate, yeah, the damage should be there to take down H2O. Igor, can he get himself out of this? He's looking to run himself away. James is coming out of the back line, so did he have anything to jump in? He's going to be able to get that rebound off. Can't close that gap onto Igor, and Igor just a little bit too far away now. Jiasu, BCC back to the top lane.
Okay, cybercats now, they have this damage issue that we were talking about. And especially to kill the Dawnbreaker, it's not gonna happen. Razor is also gonna be a hard kill, especially if the IO is somewhere close. And Jesu actually went for the Maelstrom, so he wants to deal with the CK illusions. Just a second here, Igor trying to prove me wrong, but no, still not enough damage. So the thing right now for cybercats, if they want to fight, they want to set it up so that Empire run into the area where the CK is farming. That would be the ideal scenario. So I'm liking that they're the ones actually running left and right. It might open up the top part of the map. Empire think, okay, we can do something there, and then there's a CK waiting for you, a hero that can actually kill you. So I think that's gonna be the next train of thought here for cybercats. Get the fight to Shigetsu. It would be the ideal scenario for them.
Yeah, and I mean, look at it, Jesu has the Maelstrom coming out, so I suppose that's going to be nice to try and deal with the CK illusions. I'm assuming it's going to be the BKB next for Razor, but I'm only assuming.
He is going for a Mithril Hammer next, so yeah, he has to get a BKB. Even I thought his first item was going to be the BKB, just to prevent enemies from getting any kills. But he's maybe afraid of the enemies surviving too much and then not being able to deal with the CK in the later portions of the game, which is actually a valid fear 7 Jesu could have. And you have an IO, so you know, farming with the Maelstrom is gonna be even that much more powerful.
Yeah, and we can see, I mean, the grouping up again, they're taking control of this, they're taking away the farm from that Razor in the jungle, giving it to focus. I think this is what was done, excuse me, in that last game pretty well from the Beastmaster, that they just completely took away the farm in that top, the beginning part of the game, you know, and just made that space their own. And now cybercats are going to be doing it back here as Phasor TP's down. He has that Doom available. Igor didn't want to go for the dive onto James, not sure who else was behind. With the smoke, it's just going to be a 2-man smoke coming out from cybercats. Who are they going to be able to find here? Because Doom does have that blink, so he's going to be able to get on top of somebody, get that blink off immediately.
Again, you just want to kill. You want to kill on anyone so that Empire cannot use their use their mobility. Let's see if he can do it. He does have a blink and the war stomp, as you mentioned, so it's really good, but this time around Empire will be faster.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the dispose once again onto Visage. Visage, can he get himself away from it this time? The connected storm comes out, but the unleash comes through now as well. James Squadix going to be able to get the kill. Focus, H2O can he get himself away from this one. Razor chasing down Jesu. The Illuminate Jesu still does enough damage to get that kill. And what's he stolen in terms of damage?
You want to turn around.
46 damage, but do they want to carry on going here? Jesu going to be caught by the run, and the plasma field does come through. They're going to be able to get the soul bind through, and the Solar Guardian gets used. Igor, the dive coming through from Satchel. He has that Celestial Hammer if he wants to throw it out, so they're going to be able to clean up now onto the Void Spirit. Stun onto Marcy. Marcy can get himself away from this one. It looks like one more right click. They're going to be able to claim the kill. Phasor trying to fight up, but BCZ comes in for Satchel for that extra regen, and Phasor, he's going to be chased down here. The Starbreaker comes out, he turns around for that stun, but I don't think it's going to be enough. One more right click comes through, and it's going to be the Luminosity proc there as well. BZZ, do they have enough damage to take him down? It looks like BZZ is going to survive through this. Shigetsu with the TP, nothing to cancel that TP. But that fight, I mean, you lose, what was that? You lose the Visage at the start of it, you lose your cores throughout that fight there as well. So it's still going to be a heads-up fight there for Team Empire.
You didn't lose the CK though. In terms of gold, yes, Empire are gonna be feeling better, but they were the ones that started it off. So cybercats, they turned it around in a sense that CK came in. This is the fight that you ultimately want. Obviously, you'd want to set it up a little bit earlier, but Shigetsu cannot afford to just stay next to DK Focus all the time. Still, with that fight, he'll be closer to the blink, and then you don't have to because you can hunt for yourself. I like this from cybercats. Overall, Empire might have won that fight, but for the future, the victory is actually in the hands of cybercats, because finally Shigetsu will be able to make a play.
Yeah, like you say, the blink not going to be too far away, about 300 gold before he's going to be able to claim that up now. And again, you've got the posture, but I like this from the side of Empire. They're just pushing out with Jesu, BCZ on the bottom lane. If anything kicks off, they have that relocate in to get themselves into the fight. Speaking about kicking off, it looks like the Chaos Ball, the reality is going to be onto James. And I don't think Marcy gets himself out. Dispose is going to be used. But the blinding light's been used now as well, but the drag back, yeah, Shigetsu just picks up that kill.
They found Squadix!
They're even going to be able to get the glimpse back into that Kinetic Storm, and it looks like that's going to be enough to take down Squadix. Fortification going to be used, but the pings come out immediately to move inside the Roche Pit. Phantasm's been used there as well, so he's going to be able to use these illusions to put the pressure onto the tier 1 and just keep that pushed in here, while the rest of them, the real heroes, we move in from Cybercats into this Roche Pit.
Really weird the move from James, I have to say. It cost him the life of his core as well. This is what you want to do with cybercats, kill into a follow-up with the glimpse. Obviously, you know, it wasn't Squadix's fault. James just got caught there. They maybe thought it was a lone CK, wanted to force out the Phantasm, and because of it he got punished as well, and this is exactly what cybercats want. The Aegis gives them the ability to control an area, and Empire, when you look at their lineup, it's not really good for team fighting. You know, it's good to get the first kill, to just rotate around the map, kill people over and over again, get the lead, and then you can win the team fight with the lead. But when it comes to a 5 versus 5, running into the CK, it's gonna hurt. So Empire, after that move there, they're gonna be feeling pretty bad about themselves, because Shigetsu, he'll be wanting to hunt.
Yeah, and again, they've got the Aegis up now, so they are going to be able to put pressure onto this. You can see the way they're grouping around as well, looking for a jump on anyone that's going to try and show to push into this mid lane here. But Shigetsu, he just wants to go onto this tier 1. Razor, he's got that BKB up now, so that's going to be something nice. But James, I don't think he wants to jump into this one yet. They're just going to let this tier 1 tower go in the mid lane. Even the Dawnbreaker not really coming into this either. He's got that Echo Saber, he wants the Blink Tower, he wants the BKB. Well, they might even find out James again. James is invis though, and no vision to reveal.
Empire wants to catch cybercats on the retreat. The thing is that cybercats, what they do now is they claim areas really aggressively, and that's how they'll stay safe and even get a kill on James.
Yeah, James, the invis wears off. He was right in the path of Igor with the familiars cutting off the escape path there as well. So Void Spirit, easy jump in, easy kill going away of cybercats.
Right now for Empire, they have to play the side lanes. That is the play. Okay, Void Spirit is away. This is the time to strike. But the thing is, he's away when a hero dies. That is the play from cybercats. We get a kill, then we spread out and push out lanes. We get another kill, we spread out and push out lanes. And at some point, Empire, they make a mistake, and we're getting glimpse.
Yeah, and you can see as well, they don't have any vision in their own jungle, so Satchelo has to run himself away. He's going to be caught out, he's going to be killed off. Does he get the... He doesn't, he's going to get dragged back by the glimpse here. The Starbreaker, I thought with Shard might have been enough to keep him alive, but with that Static Storm being down, he's just going to be locked down, he's going to be killed off. And yeah, cybercats really starting to take control of this map.
Really nicely done by them. They're making sure that they are always together, and they're even going for more. They smoked. I think that was spotted, if I'm not mistaken, with so many wards. Those are actually cybercats wards, but for a second I thought that they were under the outpost. Either way, I'm not sure that any of the cores of Empire will be caught by this one. James is going to be the sacrificial lamb yet again.
Yeah, he just keeps, what is he, 0, 8, and 7 here. It was a really good start for him at the beginning of the game with the Dawnbreaker in that lane. The BKB Jessu, he has to pop it. He needs to get something out of this now as well, so they are going to be able to get the kill into H2O. Do they want to go any further onto this? It's going to be the push coming through though. If you see, take a look at the Phantasms here, onto the tier 3 towers already coming through from cybercats, and that's going to be the BKB used just for a support. It's the ultimate going to be used for the Razor now as well, with that Eye of the Storm going, and he's got to be careful because there is still a Doom available, so you probably throw that onto BZZ to stop the relocation away, but you know, BZZ just wants to stick with the Razor at the minute.
He has to. I have to say Empire aren't getting anything out of their draft. They should be ahead right now. The Keeper of the Light should be getting a ton of kills. Ideally, you don't want to go for the BKB. You just want to be running around doing the damage. Sometime down the line, I want to see a Hex coming out from the Keeper, but cybercats are just shutting them down all the way. It seems like they knew exactly how they were gonna play against this one, and they're doing so in style for now. So Empire, what's gonna be the play for them? I think they're doing exactly what they need to, but they're just being read completely, you know, split pushing the side lanes. I just think James is dying way too much. I think that is the main problem. When James is dead, it just allows cybercats to do whatever they want.
Yeah, H2O, he is actually going to drop the Static Storm here to try and get the lockdown. The Doom comes out. Soul Guard's actually going to come through, so the Doom's going to get caught out and killed off without throwing his ultimate out now as well. The chase is on. Ego's going to be able to get the step away, but do they want to go any further onto this? A really nice pick-off. Yeah, they're going to go to the back line, so they're going to be able to get the Soul Bind off now as well, the Dispose, to get that stun lock. He does have another Astral Step as well as a Dissimulate, but is he going to be able to keep him alive? Astral Steps to the other side. They're still going to be doing a lot of damage coming through from the Spirit Vessel. They get the catch with the run, though. James will be taken down. Are they going to be able to do anything more out of it? They're even going to be able to get the kill onto the Keeper of the Light. They might be able to turn this one around. BZZ with no relocate out. He didn't drag anyone back with him, and this might actually be the death of Satchelo there as well. And this is just going to be a constant stream of, I don't know, Saving Private Ryan syndrome coming through as they go down one by one, overextending, and that started off so well, taking down the Disruptor, taking down the Doom, and then they just got so disjointed from that there, and Empire threw away 4 heroes.
I think it's more of a case of sending Private Ryan to die because you're chasing the Void Spirit into the enemies. You already talked about what the players from cybercats stay in an area and always drag the fights towards your CK, and Empire like, yeah, let's go towards the CK so that he can absolutely dismantle our team. This was so weird from them. They were so greedy for a kill. I guess they feel the pressure that this game later on is gonna be an issue, but if your Razor is itemizing the way he is, you have to assume that in the later portions of the game he's gonna be able to deal with the CK, especially if he has an IO behind him.
Yeah, and DK Focus, I mean, they've got this push potential coming in now as well. Shigetsu just going to be able to take over this mid lane. They might even be able to move on to the tier 2. BKB's going to go on the back lines. Phasor once again gets caught out. He is going to be killed off, and now the side of Empire, they are grouped up. The Simulate comes out. The Ram's going to get dropped now as well. James is going to be able to survive through this. So Guardian comes out. Shigetsu's got that BKB. Do they want to go even further onto this connected field? The Static Storm, and Shigetsu, does he want to try and run himself away? That Wraith Pact is down. Chaslo's trying to do what he can with the Starbreak. They might be able to get the stun off. Do they have the damage? James will fall, and that's going to be a dieback here for the Marcy, but Focus, once again, the connected field is up. Focus is going to be able to get himself away from this one. BZZ is trying to keep himself alive. Ego's going to be able to get the Astral Step away from this one. BZZ, how is he still alive? Focus, the chase is on. Shigetsu's going to try and go for the TPs. No. Focus is going to be able to give himself away. Nothing to cancel it. H2O gets himself out there as well. The Plasma Field doesn't connect. All that.
No, Empire. That was their time to shine.
Yeah. And they just couldn't... Like, the lack of stuns hurting them there because there was so many heroes. What was it? 3 heroes that TP'd out of that fight. And they just couldn't, like I say, with the Marcy being down, with the Starbreaker being down, they didn't have any way to stop those TPs. And 3 heroes on the side of cybercats escape.
The thing is, they just don't have too many stuns. This lineup of theirs, they should be ahead, so when they catch someone, they just blow him up. And that is not the case with the BKB now on the CK. He survives for way too long, allowing his teammates to get into a good enough position they can TP out from. And now, H2O, this time around, he's not gonna survive.
Yeah, H2O is going to go down. Maybe one of the familiars as well. He might just go straight up onto this cliff, but they have the ward for the vision, and this is just going to be taken away. So an extra 100 gold there for Jesu. So Basha Razor? Like, what can they actually do to deal with this lack of lockdown on the side of Empire to stop cybercats from escaping?
I think the hex on the Coddle is the thing that you're looking for. Though for now he wants the Dagon. I guess Empire are going all in into we will burst them down, which might actually be the case. To be honest, they still have too much damage. This Coddle hero, sometimes it just surprises me. He comes in and he does 1,000 damage to you in a second. With a Dagon, it's even more than that. So you know, they're looking to deal with this with this lack of lockdown with more damage. Fair point, but Shashlo is going for a basher, so that is gonna be something that helps later down the line. Also, it would help if your Marcy wasn't always dead.
Yeah, speaking about always dead, Faisal gets caught out, killed off for what's that? The sixth time in this game he gets caught out and killed off, and cybercats now just have to back themselves away. So the smoke comes out.
I think now it's gonna be a fight of James and Fiazor, who's gonna have more deaths. This is a good smoke. They should get a good fight out of this one.
Yeah, they'll be able to get the lockdown onto H2O. H2O does have buyback, and look at this, Roshan up in a minute as well. Really nice timing to get the kill onto the Disruptor. If they can get even more out of this, they might be able to set up for the Roche when it is back alive.
Shigetsu is hunting the Coddle. He sees him. It's really bad if Squadix gets caught.
He's behind the trees. You know, he's looking fine. Oh, there's going to be the TP and Shigetsu. He's going to be able to make the dive on. The Chaos Ball comes through. The reality, if they get the drag back, they get the blow up onto Shachlo. So that's an even better catch for the timing now.
Empire need to start thinking, how do we prevent our heroes from dying? I think the Scuttle, Hex, or an E-Blade. I don't think you have the space to go for more Dagons here. If Squadix continues going for it and they have nothing to save their heroes with, your Dawnbreaker dying to the CK from 100 to 0 in a stun, that cannot happen. So Empire need to deal with this right now.
Yeah, and you can see more control coming out for Shigetsu as well. He has that, the Basha coming through. He's going towards an AC, so more survivability for this hero that's already massive, 3.2k health. You know, he's got himself 16 armor before the AC even comes out.
I'm liking though that he is going for it. Extra armor is definitely gonna help. Armor, Ghost Scepters, that is what you need. Right now the CK is a problem and the one that you have to deal with. We already talked about it. They don't have much to deal with illusions, especially if the Keeper is dead. The illusions will not die and your heroes, they're just gonna keep dying. So Empire, they go for a smoke. They feel like they can fight. I don't know if a full 5-on-5 teamfight is what you're looking for, and Cybercat's in perfect position to wait for them.
Yeah, the smoke is going to break the one on the side. They're going to be able to get that diving focus. He's going to be the one that gets caught out. Soul Guardian comes in. Do they have enough to stun to simulate, though? They immediately blow up onto the Disruptor once again after this fight happens here. She gets
the illusions.
Do they have enough damage here? Ego's got that double damage rune, and Shashlo's going to be taking a whole lot of punishment. He might even be able to go into the Razor. The Razor is just going to be blown up, killed off, and now he even gets the blink forward onto Squadix. The Reality Rift comes out. Squadix, the Bash is going to be there now as well. Can they go even further? The Starbreaker, though, Shigetsu's just a big tanky boy. And they're going to be able to make the dive happen on the Dawnbreaker. The double damage is still here on the Void Spirit. Shigetsu, though, has to turn himself away from this one. Doesn't want to get caught out with the Soulbind. The BKB being down there as well. Doesn't really feel like being caught out. So, a good couple of fights. You know, that is going to be the buyback being forced out from the Disruptor there as well. So, a 3-for-3 and a buyback. It's not awful there for Team Empire, but it does mean now that Cybercats, they're going to feel brave enough to move into this Roche pit.
The good thing was that good thing for Empire, not good thing for Cybercats, is that the CK didn't immediately pop a BKB. He got stunned up, him and all of his illusions from the Starbreaker. His illusions died, and obviously he couldn't clean up the rest of the team on the side of Team Empire as fast as he killed the Marcy. That is why Empire actually got out of that fight with two of their heroes alive. If the illusion survived for just a tad bit longer, it would have been an easy cleanup. Also, Igor missing that one last Ether Remnant made the fight be okay for the side of Team Empire. Now, of course, with the Roche into the hands of cybercats, it's not gonna be okay any longer, and next time around when Empire are running in, you're not gonna be running into DK Focus first. It's gonna be Shigetsu that's waiting for you.
Yeah, and Shigetsu here, he's got himself the Aegis, he's got the Echo Saber in the backpack. Again, Basher's up, he's just going to be able to, he's got the Shard now as well, so it's going to be some extra Phantasms in these fights. He's, I can't even say pretty tanky, he is the tank. When that armlet's on as well for the extra health, the survivability, this is even before the AC comes through, so I really don't know what Empire can do to fight into this. But
it's gonna be a tough one, but their lineup is still good at split pushing. Their lineup is still good at catch, so that is something that you still can use and that you will use for if you're Empire.
Yeah, you can see here on the bottom lane, Squadix is trying to push out using the Illuminate Blast onto this bottom lane, trying to do what he can. While this is going on, Shigetsu, again, he's just continuing his aggression onto this tier 2. He's not even bothered about tanking the tower here now as well. Squadix trying to do what he can to clean off these creep waves to put pressure onto the tier 3. Is he going to force anything back? Marcy's joining him. BZZ's going to be close as well with Jesu. So it looks like he just TPs himself out. Okay, so he's putting up pressure here onto the tier 3. The Catapult going to be doing a lot of damage, taking this tower down to below half health. I like Igor, again, he's just cutting this wave. So now, Empire, they've got to be really careful about how they get back behind enemy lines.
That was really scary on the bottom lane for Squadix. You wanted to force out some rotations. They saw Igor though, but every single time cybercats are moving so well. Igor is TPing only when his team is close enough that even if he gets jumped, they're gonna be there to turn the fight around. So finally, Empire will be pushed back and their split push will be stopped. You can see how well cybercats are moving. They're going deep into the enemy jungle, pushing in one wave. Then they go for a smoke. Empire need to go back, and then they TP while they're running towards their hero. No play available for Empire. It's just a beautiful understanding, but Shigetsu is left alone.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the relocating now as well. Shigetsu gets that Reality Rift off. Can they do the damage here? Because that, I think he didn't get...
TP out?
He didn't get the static link off. No, the Aegis is going to be popped. And that's... Yeah, he doesn't have a TP. 5 heroes. The cybercats, they're desperately trying to get over, but Shigetsu's just going to go down. The Dagon Squadix picks up that kill. And what was that about the movement of cybercats?
I don't know who even talked about their movements being good. I think that was not a movement. That was them thinking these guys don't have the guts to fight us, but they definitely do. Empire get a bonus kill right now. What I would like them to do is push in all the lanes and then catch cybercats, because then if the lanes all 3 lanes are pushed into the side of cybercats, they will have no play on the map other than to fight, and that is easily read, but they get one more.
The blink into the dispose coming through from Marcy, just the rebound blink dispose coming through, and yeah, there was the follow-up there from Squadix. He's got that, what level is that now? The level 5 Dagon, and he's just absolutely, he's literally blowing up heroes with that Dagon. He shoots it, you know, the Avid Cadaver comes out, and those heroes just disappear.
The question is, can Empire really force the high ground with this one? You are playing against the Void Spirit, so Igor can be very, very annoying. Let's see just how annoying. Without the CK though, I don't think 7 Jesu can die.
No, and he's 18 seconds away. The fortification is up if they want to use it here, which they will do to try and, you know, clean off these creeps. But the Illuminate damage just keeps coming through here from Squadix, and he's just going to be able to go right back onto this tier 3. And now, you know, 6 seconds away, so they're not going to overstay the welcome. They've done a lot of damage to this tier 3 tower. They backed themselves away, and this just shows that cybercats, they are absolutely killable here. All of the ultimates are going to be up in a bit for the side of Empire as well. 16 seconds before the old man's going to have the nightlight back. And now, do you think, I mean, excuse me, would you want to see a Will-o'-the-Wisp coming through from Squadix? He looks like he's going to be going towards a Hex, but he could get that Aghanims out. You know, he could go for the full Will-o'-the-Wisp, get that area control out here if he wants to.
Maybe later on. I think Hex, E-Blade, those are the items that you're looking at. And, oh, Empire, they want to fight. They're waiting for cybercats.
Yeah, Ego's down on the bottom line. I mean, the Dawnbreaker's not there, but the Solar Guardian is up. Yeah, okay, Radiant Scan. You know, again, the Spidey sense is tingling. They throw that scan out. They don't want to be walking up blind onto high ground. And he will just move away from that. But the smoke is going to break Squadix. They're going to be able to get around top of him, but the BKB is going to be there. Squadix, he has to run himself away from this. He's going to get the extra movement speed. And the relocate comes out now as well. Do they want to try and set up onto this? Oh, Phaser. Jessu's going to be slowed down. It looks like, yeah, they're just going to keep on using that rebound. And BZZ might be the sacrificial lamb. He's going to be the sacrificial lamb. But it keeps Squad X alive. That's massive in, you know, making sure that cybercats can't get an opening onto your tier 3s.
The problem with Empire is Shashlo doesn't want to be with the team. So when that is the case, you actually have only one hero that is good at breaking smokes, and that is the Razor. The smoke breaks on him, he uses the BKB, he runs in, and there's nothing that the enemies can do. But when Shashlo isn't there, there's just so many openings in this bottom jungle that the enemies can come from. So I think Empire, they were kind of aware of it. That's why they went for a smoke, but they really didn't have a good hero to put forward in all fronts. And that is what ultimately, I'd say, caused them the fight, but they didn't lose anything of big value. The thing that is valuable for them that you could say they did lose is the complete control of the top part of the map. And with the outpost, it means that Empire can wait for Roche, or cybercats can wait for Roche right now, and they'll always have the Void Spirit and his mobility to deal with the bottom lane.
I mean, he's going to come through here. The Dissimulate comes out to try and clean up this creep wave, so they know that... Does he have the boots of... He doesn't have the boots of travel, so he's going to be, you know, TP scroll and cooldown here. He moved himself away. They might be able to force something out with that knowledge, and... Yeah, Shigetsu's got himself a double damage. Never mind, he just kills everybody with that. And yeah, like you said, they are just grouping up, looking to secure this position around Roche.
He's going for a really cool item. It's gonna be the Arcane Blink. You blink in, the stun and the Phantasm just come out in half a second, and then you crush someone. You're gonna have that instant initiation with the instant spawn of the Phantasm. So I'm liking the item he's going for. This is the Arcane Blink is something that we see from CKs from time to time. Empire though going for a smoke. They know exactly where the enemies are, and they might even expect that Igor goes towards the bottom lane. But cybercats in a really good position. Empire have claimed the high ground though, so this is already a good start for them.
Yeah, they're going to be able to get the disposal to Ego. Do they have enough with the Starbreaker to get that kill off? There's going to be a lot of damage coming through. H2O going to be forced now away, and they're going to be able to... Shashlo actually gets taken down. He doesn't have buyback either, and now the Doom comes out into the Razor as well. The Glimpse is going to be used to the drive back. This is going to be an absolute disaster here for the side of Empire. A really good setup, and cybercats, you know, they're going to be able to get another one because there was a relocate out coming through. And just look at this. Buybacks. This is just going to be the death of BZZ. And yeah, no buybacks on the 2 cores that have gone down. This opens up the tier 3 tower in the top lane, even with the Illuminate Plus coming through here for Squad X. That just, that just went so bad from Empire, for Empire. And now cybercats, they have the opening. They want to maybe push in, take a lane of racks out of this. They might see that there's no buybacks. They might even push on, depending on how brave they're feeling towards the tier 4s.
Big mistake there came from the Razor. He went for Igor. He did all of his damage to the Void Spirit, the hero that you pretty much can't kill. Ooh, Shigetsu.
Shigetsu just pops the BKB. He is going to be getting low. The Illuminate Plus comes through as well, but obviously the BKB comes through. And just look at how quickly he heals up.
That feels so bad for Empire right now, but you can never focus on the Void Spirit. Just let him go, hope that he's not gonna have enough damage to kill your supports. Immediately use all of your spells to kill one of the other cores, the Visage or the CK. They need to go down. The CK would be an ideal target for the Razor to latch onto, because then he can't really destroy the other ones, and Shashlo is gonna be able to do everything. But you know, one team gets the worst target, that's the Void Spirit, the other one gets the perfect target, and that is the Dawnbreaker. Shashlo really needs to be a bit more trigger happy on his BKB. If he doesn't pop it and just dies like that, the fight is immediately lost for Empire.
Yeah, and this is going to be H2O. How much goal away from the Arcane Blink is he? He's not going to be too far away from it at all. And once he picks this one up, well, they might be trying to go for a re-engage, but it's going to be James that gets killed off. Yeah, he does have buyback, and he is going to buyback. They want to fight this one out. Roshan is up in 38 seconds here. So if either team lose a fight, they might lose a Roche as well.
They're not using their split push ability at all. The mobility of their heroes is like they've completely forgotten about it. Even though the top lane is pushed in, you can just keep the Shashlo Dawnbreaker in the base and just deal with the bottom part of the map. Once you push in, then you can go back and go for that smoke. But they're just forcing this and forcing it and forcing it. It's just not working out for Empire.
No, and Roche, he's going to be 6 seconds away. Look at this prime position coming through from cybercats as well. But it looks like Empire, they're just saying, okay, screw that. We're going to push through. There's a fortification up, but if we can force it out, we might even be able to even up the lane of racks. as there is going to be a fight breaking out. Shigetsu comes with
This is like the start of a
use,
fight.
yeah, the BKB is going to be there. The kinetic field, static storm is going to be dropped now as well. Shigetsu using that phantasm, but he's getting pretty darn low. The static link as well, the backlines. Ego's going to try and jump onto this. They might be able to get the Hex. He will be able to get Hex into that Starbreaker. The lockdown comes through. They're going to be able to get the kill. No, they're not going to be able to get
Igor
the
is
kill.
still alive.
Ego's still alive, and now Jetsu's gone down. Shigetsu picks up this kill. BZZ, the glimpse comes back onto the IO, and the IO is just going to be cleaned up and killed off.
Okay, that was a very smart move from Empire. The thing is, they needed so little to kill both of the cores on the side of Cybercats. Sure, Shigetsu had a buyback, but he wouldn't have had a Phantasm. Igor didn't have a buyback, so if he had died, it wouldn't be a problem. So this has to feel really bad for Empire, but this is the thing. You don't use your mobility for like 10 minutes in the game, and you are gonna suffer because of it. They went for a few fights. With that, Cybercats got a bit ahead, and because of it, this fight went as well as it did for them. It should have gone much worse, but yet again, Shigetsu has an Aegis. Let's see if, like last time, he's gonna be given a freebie to Empire.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. The bottom lane again. James is going to get dove on. He's just going to be cleaned up and immediately killed off there. And Igor claims that one. And again, he
That's
had to. He thought back. He bought back and died for that last fight. And this is just going to open up another lane of rocks here. 16 seconds without the Razor. You've got an Aegis on the side of Cybercats. Fortification will be used, but I don't know how they keep the space alive.
The Raxes here are gone. That's all there is to it. There's nothing you can do about it right now if you're Empire. If you decide to fight, right now you will lose the game. Wait for your Marcy. Oh, they actually are not gonna choose, but Shigetsu is gonna choose for them.
Yeah, they actually come in. They're gonna be able to pop that Aegis now as well. Can they go even further onto this? Shigetsu, he's in deep. Where's the rest of the team now? They're gonna be backing him up with the BKBs. Fazo comes in. The back lines. He's gonna be able to get a really nice Centaur stop on onto two. The kinetic field comes out. The static storm comes out. They're gonna be able to clean up Solo Guardian. Not gonna be able to keep a Razor alive. Not gonna be able to keep BZZ alive. And BZZ has to buy back into this. And he's gonna try and do what he can on the Kotal on the back lines with the Illuminate down with those. The Dagon throws in, but it looks like this is just gonna be diebacks left, right, and center. Even getting the drawback onto Shash. So GG gets called, and that is going to be game number 2, going the way of Cybercats 40-24 at 42 minutes.
I have to say, Cybercats, they did have a few major mistakes, mainly the one with the CK dying on the bottom lane, but to be honest, they played this game better. Even though I think they had an inferior draft, Empire didn't use the things that were actually stronger about their draft, mainly thinking about mobility, and Cybercats, they dealt with mobility really well, so Empire might have been able to use it a bit more if Cybercats weren't moving so well around the map. So I think this is a really deserved victory coming out from Cybercats. If there wasn't for that one big mistake from Shigetsu, would have been a pretty clean game for them. So definitely striking back here, Cybercats, looking really solid. Empire, they're gonna have to think twice. Once you get a draft like this, you kind of put a set of rules of what you want to do in the game. And of course, I mean, don't want to point fingers, but James just, he bought a Blink Dagger so that he can jump into the enemy team and die faster. So you kind of need to rethink your position if you're dying so many times on the map.
Yeah, so that is going to be it, guys. We're going to go to a full 3-game series. It's going to be a long one to end off the day, but we're here for it because these games, it could go either way in this third game. So stick around. We're going to be taking a quick 10-15 minute break, and we'll be back to see who's going to be the ultimate winner between Cybercats and Team Empire for this final series of the day. We will see you then.